Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Experts Bootcamp, the English lesson that brings to stage the number one experts of the leading industries. So as usual, let me check if everything is working properly here in the group. Let me see. And let me welcome all the attendees to this amazing lesson. So just a second, let me check. Okay. Okay, here I am. I see that you're starting coming. Very good. Let me place this lesson at the very top of the group so that everyone who enters will see it immediately. Okay, guys, so as you know, today the topic of this episode of the Experts Bootcamp will be the real estate industry. And for this reason, I am so happy and so honored to welcome on stage one, I think, of the most talented real estate agents of the entire Emirates. So I would like you to welcome tonight Mrs. Elena. Just a second. Here you are. Hi, Elena. Welcome to this
Hello.
live. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much. Very good evening to all. I believe it's afternoon for you.
Yeah, it is 6:30 in Italy. Thank you so much, Elena, first of all, for having accepted my invitation. I know you are super, super busy. Maybe busy is not, too less because you're always, in something, in different activity, involved in something, in some activities. But you were so kind to accept my invitation. So thank you so much, first of all, for having dedicated us your time. So, as you know, I have prepared a presentation that I want to share now with my students, okay, so that it will be easier for them to follow through the conversation and also to read the questions that I have prepared for you. I know we are almost 100, fantastic, in something like 3 minutes. Very good. I'm so happy that you are interested in this topic. So, before, starting with my questions, Elena, I would like you to introduce yourself because I would like also my students to know you better. I know that through this conversation, you will share with me and with us your story, but now I would just like you to introduce yourselves. So would you mind?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, first of all, for inviting me and exposing me to so many people. As Monica said, my name is Elena. I came to Dubai 20 years ago. I was engaged in a corporate company in hospitality business for almost 14 years. I was always more or less involved in real estate and I was very passionate about it. And then the time has come and I was invited to work in a real estate business, in a real estate company. You have to have this entrepreneur set of mind, to start it, because it's not easy. It's in a way as if you're managing your own business. This is how I started, and I eventually understood that this is mine, that I am people's person. I like to communicate. And now I work for a very big company, which is called Prestige Real Estate. I manage a team and we are handling expensive projects and villas. I have a husband, I have 2 children.
And you're so young, Elena. You're so young that you have 2 children. So, wow. How old, can I ask you how old your children are?
My eldest is 15. I'm not so young. Thank you so much.
15,
My
wow.
eldest is 15 and my youngest is 9.
Wow, amazing. Very good, great. So guys, you have to know that Elena, apart from being one of the most talented real estate agents in the Emirates, is the person who contributed to my life change. Because I remember that the first time that it was not the first time, but it was the first time that I was in Dubai looking for a house, I met you. and maybe I don't know if you remember our first meeting. I met you, and you showed me the beautiful place where we live. That is a community called the Green Community. And I remember that we were talking about the villa that I was interested in, and we stopped in front of the market. And on the big wall of the building, there was a big poster stating, "This is the perfect place to start your new life." And so I remember that my husband and I were so impressed by the fact that we were in that moment in front of that poster with you, and then we decided to rent the house that you showed us. And so I always think about you as the person who was one of the protagonists of my new life, let's say the new chapter of my life. So apart from being very talented, I mean, you have contributed also to change my life. So that's why I'm so honored tonight to have you here. Okay, but now let's start talking about something related to your industry and your business. In fact, as you know, I have prepared some questions that basically have the point to guide you through, let's say, a revelation of your story, how you started your career, and how you manage every single day to keep up such a successful career in the real estate industry. So, are you ready for my questions?
Absolutely. Go on, please.
Okay, great. In the meantime, I just want to tell you that everyone is greeting you. I have here more than 100 people live. 92. Great, amazing. So they are greeting you, and they are so happy to have you here tonight.
Thank you.
Question number one. Question number one. On average, how many homes have you sold each year as a real estate agent?
Mm-hmm. Well, 20 every year is different. 2020 been a very successful year.
Nice to hear that.
Yes, for Dubai it was a very successful year, unlike for other countries. I have sold maybe about 27 houses and rented maybe 40 houses. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a big number for real estate. What happened is that because I'm specialized in villas and luxury homes, during COVID, so many people experienced this inconvenience of not having, your garden where you can go and walk, not to feel captive inside your apartment. So the demand was unexpectedly good, and we had so many clients right after lockdown. So many people, so many tenants wanted to become homeowners. So the prices started going up. They are still going up. Market is booming in Dubai. So it's been a very successful year for us. The previous year, I would say that people were doing in average 60% of what 2020 brought us.
Good to know. And do you think that the needs of customers have changed during 2020? I mean, you mentioned villas with garden. Do you think that this kind of change in preferences would still be present also in the future? Or, I mean, what is your idea about that?
We believe that there was complete change of mindset. During lockdown, none of us were prepared or could ever think that we will be locked in our apartments. In Dubai, there are so many high-rise tall buildings in the most popular areas like downtown, Burj Khalifa, Marina, where people did not have even a balcony. And people live here for years. They have their families, schools, established their businesses. So all these owners, tenants, they had the change of their mindset. They said, like, we've spent so much on the rental during all this year. We could have bought something and own it. So banks had introduced more attractive schemes in terms of mortgages and interest rates. And so many people, so many tenants just decided to become homeowners. We believe that the trend will continue. We don't think that the issue will be solved within the next 1 year or two. In addition to all the attractive offers that Dubai government offers and rules that Dubai government is trying to implement and introduce to the expats of Dubai, which are golden visas for the investors. Yeah, now we hear the news that people will be eligible to get the passport in UAE.
I read it.
Yeah, so with all these news coming up, definitely people want to put their feet strong in Dubai, own their homes and establish themselves here. So many people think to retire here. Obviously, as long as you have long-term plan, you want to own your home, because people are renting for years, 10 years, 20 years. There are so many people that live here for such a long time. They have paid.
So now the preference is owning your own house instead of renting it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's there are lots of houses available depending on your budget. You can own a house at 400,000 euro, and you can own a house at 10 million euro. So Dubai offers offers houses for everybody. So
for different budgets.
Afford it, yeah. And the interest rate is very attractive. I'm not sure what it is in Europe. Today in Dubai, you can get a home loan with the interest of 2.7%. For instance, Ukraine.
I will ask about the interest rate in Italy for mortgages. I will ask my students to keep us updated about that. What about in Ukraine?
In Ukraine, it's something absolutely crazy. It's 17%. So hardly people are using banks. Mostly houses are bought by cash. Now there was a law introduced that they will implement a fixed rate of 7%. The law did not come into force yet.
Question, I mean, in Italy, it is not so easy that you have such big amounts cash. How is it possible in Ukraine? Are people paid by companies by cash?
No, it's just people are saving, and then eventually they're buying houses.
Okay.
This is the common trend.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
Actually, in all post-CIS, post-Soviet Union, or currently CIS countries, most of the houses are bought by cash.
Okay.
We also have some capital that the government pays us for children, so we can use that capital as part of the mortgage if we want to go for mortgage.
Okay, I got it. There is a student who is asking about the trend. I don't know why it is not showing properly, but I will read the question. He's asking about the trend in Dubai, and he's asking, are prices increasing or decreasing in Dubai for buying houses? I think he's mentioning.
Due to the demand, due to very high demand, the prices are increasing. From July till today, the prices went up by approximately 20 to 25%, and it keeps increasing. We are also expecting Expo in 2021 in September, so this is another factor that leads to rate increase for real estate.
Good. So you are also sharing very useful information for people who are interested in property investments. So you are also giving very, very key information about that. Thank you, Elena. Another question for you. How do you utilize the internet and social media to sell homes? I hope that you do. So how, for sure, you use them. How do you use them?
Well, obviously, 80% of the leads comes through marketing. If we are talking
Sorry,
about,
just to give my students leads, the lead is a contact, is a prospect client, just for them to understand.
yeah, absolutely. Lead is when how the client would approach an agent. Yeah. So basically, we have 3 very famous platforms in Dubai, which are property finder by Youth and Dubizel. We list properties in these portals, and clients would inquire about them when they are interested. Rather than this, obviously, social media is very important. This is how we create awareness of the new projects. We create teasers. It's Instagram, it's Facebook, it's LinkedIn. It's vital. It's an integral part, and this is the future. Without internet, without social media, you can't do real estate, obviously. And the 20% which comes through your existing clients, through your existing contacts. But you can't launch anything without social media.
Correct. So you're using social media to create awareness about new projects. This could be useful for people who use the social media in real estate industry to know. And you use these platforms that are Property Finder, you said, which is the correct pronunciation of the second one? Because I don't remember. Bayout, no.
Bayut.
Bayut, sorry. Okay. Because I never use it, so that's why. Bayut and Dubizel, you said, right?
And Dubizel, yeah. Actually, Dubizel is one of the oldest platforms, and it's mostly used by Arabs and elderly people.
Okay, because I use it for cars. I didn't know that properties were there, frankly speaking.
You can buy cars, you can buy furniture, you can buy anything through Dubizel.
Okay.
But it's mostly used by Arabs because Dubizel is available in Arabic, and mostly for all the generation, people who are here forever, like for 20 years, like me. So I personally, I don't use.
You are almost Emirati now, because more than 20 years.
Yes.
You deserve the passport for sure.
I am still waiting for my passport, and I'm very determined. I know sooner or later I will get it.
I am sure that you will manage for sure. Okay, another question, Elena. How do you stay organized and ensure that you never miss an appointment or arrive at one late? Because you are super busy. How do you keep the track? How do you organize? Do you have people helping you? Which is your secret to be always on time and to be everywhere?
Well, of course, I have people helping me. I have an admin in the office, but she does everything except my schedule, to be honest.
Okay.
Basically, it's a calendar on a phone, and all emails and messages synchronized into that calendar. The busiest day of the week for real estate are weekends. I'm sure in Italy it must be too. The days when people are available, when they don't work, they can go and view properties. So sometimes in Dubai, weekends are Friday and Saturday. Sometimes I would struggle on Saturdays. It's especially with last minute requests. Mondays are very quiet, Sundays are quiet. So we know exactly, we know the pattern, we know what to expect, and it goes with the flow. It works.
Sure. I want to remind my students, because Silvia, during the tour in the Dubai Mall, she explained already to you that here weekends are on Friday and Saturday. So Sunday is basically our Monday. So Sunday is the day in which the bank, every kind of shop, everything opens again. So just for them to understand, because at the beginning it was not so easy also to me when I moved to realize that Sunday was a working day. And maybe now for you it is normal. After 20 years, it's your it's your routine. But I remember that at the very beginning, I had a very long weekend because I started on Friday, because Friday is weekend in Dubai. And then I let's say I had the weekend till Sunday, because Sunday is the day off in Italy. So I had a weekend of 3 days, then nothing at the beginning, but then I started again with my routine, working more or less every day apart from a Friday. That is the day where in Dubai everyone calms a little bit down, apart from the real estate industry, as Elena just told us. Another question. Do you have experience using videos and virtual tours to market your home? Now there are a lot of people who are promoting themselves as experts of virtual tours, or people who can help real estate agents to create virtual tours. And now that, especially in some countries like Europe, it is not even still okay to go out and go to visit properties. But do you use this kind of tools?
Yes, of course, we use it. Pre-COVID, we use it as a teaser. During COVID, we found it absolutely necessary, especially during the lockdown, because like the buyers, they could wait. They understood that this is the time. Okay, we hold on for a month, we buy it later. But for the tenants, it was an absolute struggle, because there is certain day when they have to move out of the house. During this time, usually it would be 1 month prior to the end of contract, they would start looking for houses, and there is a lockdown. We can't show anything. Even post-COVID, so many people would not allow agents or viewers into their house due to safety. So we found it absolutely necessary. We introduced it. We have our in-house marketing team. We have a photographer and videographer. So basically now we use it in our daily routine. When we classify the customer before taking him into the house, we usually send the video, and if he is interested, if he likes the house, he then go for a viewing. So it also saves our time.
So you use virtual tours also like a filter?
No, we just like a filter. When when you
then you meet the person who is really interested, also to save your time.
Absolutely. We qualify the person by sending him a video, and if he is genuine and he wants to see it, we schedule for viewing. It also helps to follow up with the customers. So it's just a nice way to say thank you so much for being with me today. Here is the video of the house that we have seen. In case you want to show it to your wife, to your parents and relatives, please let me know if you have any questions and if you would like to make an offer.
Super interesting what you're saying. I mean, now I'm imagining people working in the real estate, or maybe people interested in the real estate industry, that are taking notes, because it's super useful what you said. So also to follow up, you can send the virtual tour. So now, Elena, if you have the chance to meet a real estate agent working in another country, according to your experience in the Emirates, which are the players inside your office? I mean, your company is huge, but let's imagine a small and medium size company working in the real estate industry. Which are the players that now you would consider super useful to have in your team? So you said that the video maker is one of them, right?
Okay, you mean what tools are like a necessity?
Not the people among the team, which are, I mean, if you have the chance to speak to another person working in the real estate industry, talking about your team, which are the players that you think are now essentials to have in the team?
Well, of course, it's a photographer. With the modern cameras, we can actually go and do pictures ourselves, and most of us have done a course on how to do pictures right for this or for the other platform. But when you have a photographer and when you go into a luxury home, it just doesn't seem professional when the agent with its little camera or with its little phone making the pictures. So it's a question of prestige and the good quality pictures. Good quality picture is part of the success. When you are launching the listing on one of the platforms, it has to be catchy. As long as the picture catchy, it's not always the price. The customer would open and go through this listing. So it's definitely a photographer. It's definitely well-organized administrative person, secretary. She has to be well-versed in home conveyance. She has to know the law. She has to understand how the contracts are being made and what is the difference between the contract, because there are four type of contracts, four type of buyers, let's say, let's say mortgage seller, cash buyer, or cash buyer, mortgage seller, and these are already different terms and different contracts. Of course, marketing. So you have to have at least someone junior who would help to keep up with the Instagram page, because it's there is much more focus on a social media, and not always people, when they're browsing about the company, they go to your website. Nowadays it's about Facebook, it's about Instagram, it's about LinkedIn. I would say these three are the key people to run the business for the real estate. And of course the broker, because broker is the sale. Without the sale, you don't need the other three.
Yeah, sure. The business cannot go on. I just would like to read some questions. Now, fortunately, I cannot see the name of the student who wrote, which is the average price regarding the rent of a house. Which kind of house? But now I think, I mean, according to the Italian mentality, let's say a 2-bedroom apartment. Because usually in Italy, we consider normal house a house with 2 bedrooms.
Okay. The prices differ. It all depends on the area. But let's say a decent home in a good area would cost around, I would say, 80,000 dirhams, which would be about 16 or 15,000 euro.
80,000 dirhams. You're talking about the rent per month?
The rent per year.
Per year, yeah. 80,000.
Apartment. Yeah.
80,000. It is something like, just to give them the price monthly. I mean the monthly rate. So 80,000, you said, divided by 4, divided by 12. It is
by 4.5.
Sorry. 80,000 divided. I usually don't divide it by 4. In fact, Francesco always tells me, okay, but why did you divide it? Just to have an idea. Divided by 4.5, okay, divided by 12, it is something like 1,400 euros per month.
Yeah, but of course there are homes, in Palazzo Versace, where you can get 2-bedroom at 200, or
yeah, sure. Then it depends on the area.
Or it's the Palm. So there are luxury areas, premium areas where you pay premium, and there are just nice areas and nice community where you can get a decent home at 1,400 euro a month. But the difference is that we don't pay rental monthly. There is
explain that, because it is also useful to know.
Yeah, the vast difference is that monthly rate is Airbnb rate or short-term vacation home. We rent houses on a yearly basis, and the contract is kind of It's in a way strict. We cannot interrupt it. There are penalties that we have to pay in case we interrupt the contract in the middle of the contractual years. So I would base the rate on a yearly basis rather than on a monthly basis, because if the same apartment you would take monthly, you would probably pay another 600 euro. Maybe it would cost around 2,000 euro a month. Even 2-bedroom, it would cost more.
Yeah, I mean, also in Italy, contracts are not monthly, on a monthly based. I think that rental contracts last something like 2 years. Correct me if I'm right, as far as I remember, because I just rent once. But you pay monthly. You set the end every time that you set the price. Yes, you set the price on a monthly base. I don't know why, but here we think about how much money do I need to spend per month. That's why I converted, just to let them understand better. There is another question, I mean, very, very interesting, because I think that this is the idea that people in general have about Dubai. When I think about Dubai, I manage skyscrapers. Are there many houses with garden as well? Elena, I'll let you reply, because people cannot believe that in Dubai there are also houses with garden and I mean, something like this.
Well, I am a house person rather than skyscrapers. Yeah, Dubai is known with its 3 areas, very popular area that people would know about even without being here. It's probably downtown where the Burj Khalifa is, and yes, there are many skyscrapers. It's Dubai Marina. It's the promenade on the shoreline and the Palm. Yeah, this is where you would see skyscrapers, but even in these areas, there are villas. In fact, there are multiple communities with, let's say, Arabian Ranches, which is community next to Green Community. It hosts 8,000 homes, only one community. Can you imagine 8,000 villas? And there is Jumeirah Living, which hosts another another 7,000 houses. In the community where me and Monica we live, it offers 1,000 houses. So there are multiple communities which are beautiful. They look like as if you go, you know, there are communities like as if you go to Thailand, you would see almost jungles with little rivers and lakes. Many Europeans, they say that it reminds me of home. It looks like as if you're somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, correct. And I remember that Francesco's cousin went to visit us last month. And I remember that while we were walking around Green Community, he was always telling us, I cannot believe that we are in Dubai. I could never imagine that in Dubai there could be such green places, because yes, I mean, it is not what people think when they think about Dubai. They just think about downtown, skyscrapers, super high buildings, but there are also places like the community where me and Elena live that are, I mean, beautiful, especially if you like, as Elena said, living in your own house with your garden, have your space, super calm. I mean, the only sound that we can hear in our place is the sound of birds. Parrots and birds. Sometimes when I have to record something and I am at home, I'm not going to the office, I have to wait for the birds to stop their conversations. Otherwise, it's so loud that I cannot record, but it's so beautiful. I mean, it's super nice.
Sometimes the client call me, and if I'm outside, they are going like, Elena, are you already in paradise? No, not yet.
Very nice. Now there is a question, I mean, very interesting, I suppose, from a person working in your sector. What is the percentage of the commission that the company takes for the rental of an apartment or for the sale of a property? How does it work? Because I know that it is different compared with Italy.
Yeah. I suppose we are taking less than what you take in Europe, but the value of the houses is much higher. For a sale, the standard practice is 4%, which is shared between the buyer and the seller, 2% from the buyer and 2% from the seller. For a rental, it's 5%, with the minimum of 5,000 dirham in case the home is lesser than 100,000 dirhams. So the minimum we would make 1,100 euro from a rental.
1,100 euros from a rental, okay, because there is this
the bare minimum.
Okay, the minimum. So 4% for the sale of a property, 5% for a rental, but with this condition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But okay, again, because the market is so much diverse, we were a year ago, it was a buyer's market. So basically there were lots of sellers and not too many buyers. We had the privilege of taking the 4% without exclusion. But now, when it turned into a seller market, we have to compromise sometimes, and especially when there is no exclusivity on a home.
In fact, because it is completely different. How does it work in Dubai and I suppose in the Emirates? Is the way it works in Dubai the same working in the entire Emirates or just in Dubai? I suppose in the Emirates.
No.
Okay.
Every emirate is regulated by a separate department, which is called DLD, Dubai Land Department. Yeah. So every emirate would have its own land department.
Okay.
Because Dubai is the most famous and Dubai is the place to be. To be honest, I don't recall if there is anything similar in Sharjah. For example, Ras Al Khaimah sells well. Abu Dhabi sells well. Abu Dhabi is the capital. They have lots of new interesting projects coming up. But in the other 4 emirates, they are not active in real estate. There are local boutique agencies who are doing the rental. But there are not too many buyers. There is no demand.
So Dubai is, as you said, the place to be.
Dubai is the place to invest. Dubai has very good climate for investors. We don't pay taxes on rental. So the ROI, the return on investment, is very healthy. It's steady. It's minimum 5% a year after you pay the service charge. So Dubai attracts lots of people from all over the world to put their money here because it is secure.
In the real estate, yeah, sure. Question. Before you were mentioning the exclusive licensing for properties, the exclusivity for properties. How does it work in Dubai? I mean, if I have a property that I want to sell in Italy, I should go for an exclusive licensing with a real estate agent, and then I cannot work with anybody else unless I interrupt that contract, with that person. Is it Dubai the same?
No, we are not so fortunate here.
Okay, I knew, that's why I asked this question.
There are 2 types of listing. One is exclusivity, and we have to explain and convince landlord how he will benefit by listing his property with us on exclusivity, right? And there is open listing. So the landlord can list his property with multiple agents. The only thing is that every platform, which we spoke about earlier, Dubizzle or Bayut or Property Finder, limits the listing to 3 agents. on the
okay.
basis first come, first serve. So if the
Okay.
landlord have signed the contracts with, let's say, 10 agents, the first 3 who will list the property in this platform will be verified and will be listed.
So let's say that the platform protects more compared with the law in this case.
Yes, in a way.
Okay.
But sometimes you can rent it through a different source. For instance, very often I don't need even the platform because I have already my own database. So
Sure. You
very
go by
often
yourself.
My sales is here, my client is here. So
Your brain is super organized.
yeah, so
Just for you to know, Sara is just mentioning that in Italy we pay the rental monthly, but contracts are always, we say, 4 + 4. So 4 years, and then there is let's say like an automatic renovation for other 4 years. So longer compared with the Emirati market.
Okay, so it's a commitment. And
Yeah.
what happens if the landlord, if the tenant wants to interrupt the contract?
I as far as I remember, you have to send a letter to the owner, but 6 months in advance. So you have 6 months to tell them, or to tell him, or to tell her, I don't want to go on any longer.
And what happens if the owner decides to sell the apartment?
I think that the owner as well, but now I will ask my students to reply because for sure they are more prepared than me. They have, at the same time, they have to respect a notice. Mm-hmm. They cannot just sell from the day to. And then, I mean, here in Italy, as far as I remember, also from people talking about people who had properties that they were renting, the kind of problems that they were experiencing for the majority of the times were that it was very hard to let a tenant leave the property. So here in Italy, one of the main problems that owners can have is that then it will be hard to let the tenant leave the property, even if the tenant is experiencing some problems and so he's not able to pay, to respect the contract. So I know that there is this part of risk when you decide to rent a property. Let me see, maybe they are replying. No, still not, because there is a little delay from the live to the recording. So maybe they will give me the information I need, because they are for sure more prepared than me. Okay, let's go on. Maybe we have the time just for another question. Then, I mean, it is so nice to conversate that time is really flying. Which one can I ask? This one you have already replied. Okay, also this one. Okay. No, sorry, because it is not moving. Maybe this one, it could be interesting. Describe a time when you worked with a demanding owner or client looking to purchase a home. How did you handle the situation?
Okay. All the clients are demanding. Everybody has his own inquiries, preferences, criteria. I would say once I had a customer. She's Indian, and in their culture, most of them, they're looking for something called Vastu compliance. Are you aware of this? Do you understand what is Vastu compliance?
Say it again.
Vastu compliance.
No, what is it? What is it?
Vastu compliance, it's a belief. It's like Feng Shui.
Okay.
It's some sort of Feng Shui, which came from India. So the house is to be facing certain direction.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And someone is going very deep into it.
It sounds a little bit complicated, I mean.
Yeah. Someone would go into vastu compliance of the kitchen, of the toilet, of the entrance, and someone needs only the entrance. It has to be vastu compliant.
Okay.
So there are 4 directions, north, east, west, south.
Okay.
So my task was to find a house which is north west facing.
Okay.
Okay. So then she told me that I have to bring, I found a house. I found 3 houses. I had 3 houses at that time. Then she told me, when I showed her the houses, she told me, Elena, I am bringing a guru from India. He usually caters to only celebrities. However, he will have to qualify 3 brokers whom she was supposed to buy the house from. So I had 2 tasks. First of all, I have to be qualified by guru, and I have to be selected, and I had to find the house which was vastu compliant. Each of the brokers, we were 3 different companies. We had interview with the guru. I was picked as the broker to be. Apparently, the 3 houses that I found, 3 of them were vastu compliant. She eventually became my friend, and she sold me her guru. It was very different experience, you know. He was charging 1,000 euro for a visit into the house. So I brought him into my house. He gave me lots of tips and hints. Apparently my house was not compliant.
Sorry, Elena, because I lost you for some moments. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Ah, fantastic. Okay, great. Sorry, maybe it was my problem. Okay, great.
Did you lose me on which part? What I was saying?
No, you. Sorry, because I was in the meantime. I was looking for this vastu compliant. Then I found. Okay, maybe that's why I lost the connection. But please go on.
So I sold her the house. She sold me the vastu. Later on, I brought him into my house. It was very interesting experience. The same guru, because he was in Dubai, and it was kind of a favor for me, even though I paid, you know.
Okay.
So, he gave me lots of tips, you know. These people, like, he pointed at shoe cabinet, but it doesn't look like a shoe cabinet in my house. It's just a wardrobe, you know.
Okay.
So he looked at the wardrobe and he said, whatever is here is your favorite, and you have hundreds and hundreds of it, and you have to remove it and put the saves there because it will keep on multiplying.
Wow.
And then I told him, you can open it. He opened it and he found maybe 200 pairs of shoes, you know. And it's really, this is my phobia, and it keeps on multiplying and multiplying.
So what he said came true, more or less.
So I put the safe there, and you know, I've seen in 1 year, whether it's 2020 or it's the right cabinet, but I've seen really a lot of difference and many tips. He looked into my bedroom. He told me, you have to completely change it. You have to put the bed here.
And did you do that? Did you
shuffled everything. I changed the living rooms. I have 2 living rooms, one downstairs, one upstairs. I changed the living rooms, the bedrooms, you know, the furniture.
So now your house is vastu compliant.
The entrance is still not vastu compliant, but I made enhancements to make it more compliant. Yeah, and now I am almost an expert in vastu.
Wow.
So, and to be honest, most of my clients are Indians, because I mean, from that experience, I understand a lot about vastu. So when they say we're looking for vastu, I know exactly what they're talking, and they're very confident. You know, in Dubai, you have to have this cultural awareness. This is so important, because unlike the countries where we used to live and where we grew up, we don't deal with only one nationality. There are
Sure.
hundreds of nationalities, hundreds of beliefs and types. So we have to have this awareness to find the right approach to the right customer.
Correct, correct. Elena, now question for you from my side. Which are the secrets or the best tips and tricks that you would like to share to those who want to start a career in the real estate industry in Dubai, in the Emirates? I mean, you are the best representative of a person who decided to leave her country and move to another country, a totally different country. First of all, a question that for sure would be very interesting for my students. How was your level of English when you decided to move to Dubai?
Well, actually, my level of English was good. It was okay. I was quite confident. But so many people have improved once they moved to Dubai, because even at home I speak English. Even with my children I speak English, you know.
What is the nationality of your husband, if I can ask?
My husband is Iraqi originally.
Okay.
Now he's Ukrainian.
Okay.
He became Ukrainian.
He became Ukrainian, wow.
But
I think that he doesn't speak Ukrainian, neither Russian, right?
No, he doesn't. He speaks a little bit of Russian, but I also speak a little bit of Arabic, but it doesn't help. So at home we communicate in English, and for a new person, everybody who comes, though the national language, the official language is Arabic, everybody speaks English, regardless where you call, whether it's a governmental institution, anywhere. For Arabic, press 1, for English, press 2. So
yeah.
English is well spoken here.
Correct. And which are the recommendations that you would like to share to someone who would like to consider a new career in the real estate industry, in Dubai, but also abroad, outside Italy? I mean, I'm just mentioning Italy because the majority of students who are watching us live in Italy.
First of all, thank you so much for a very good question. We are hiring at Prestige. And if anybody would like to start his career in real estate, I'm sure Monica can share my details, and I can guide you through the steps. We are hiring. What I would personally recommend, and what are the essentials? Of course, the person must speak English. Of course, the skills like honesty, integrity, I'm sure this is all of us, we have it. You have to have good communication skills. But the most important of all, I feel like the person has to be an entrepreneur. He will have to understand that being a real estate agent, it's as if you're running your own little business. You're not paid a fixed salary. You are working for yourself. Wherever you earned, this is your money. So it's people who are confident in themselves, they are doing very, very well in Dubai, because real estate in Dubai brings 35% income to the economy of the country. It's whoever thinks it's oil, this is wrong. There is no oil in Dubai.
Yeah, many people think that.
Yeah, it's all about very smart management of His Highness, real estate.
His Highness, is the ruler of the city.
His Highness is the ruler, of Dubai and the ruler of Abu Dhabi. It's trade, real estate, and hospitality. These are the three main pillars that Dubai stands on. So with the growing market, with all the new projects that are being launched, if you're confident, you have to have little savings, because Dubai is not cheap. You have to be able to sustain in Dubai for at least 2 months, because if you're coming without experience or even with international experience, you will have to spend at least a month to grow your database, to have your own landlords, your own owners, so that you can market the properties for them. And then as much as you earn, it all yours. So it's like
entrepreneurial skills, for sure.
Absolutely. It's like you're running your own business, living in Dubai. Yeah, you depend on yourself. Whatever you make, this is what you can spend. So real estate is pretty much the same.
I think that many people think that, for example, cities like Dubai are like paradises because you have all the kind of comforts that you can think, and it is true. But Dubai doesn't give anything for free. I mean, you have to deserve everything. You have to work hard. You have to respect the environment you are living in, and at the same time, you have to earn what the city can offer you. Otherwise, no one will offer you anything. So it is something very, very true that you said, Elena. I just would like to. Sorry, please go on. I didn't want to interrupt you.
I just wanted to mention that there is no social security. There is no schools which are free of charge. So bringing a family, it's responsibility. But
correct,
as we say, every hard work pays off. You can earn good money in Dubai if you are dedicated, if you are determined. If you are self-confident, you can earn well.
If you are hard workers. Yeah,
absolutely.
Correct. Elena, I mean, this 1 hour more or less has, I mean, I didn't realize that we have talked for 1 hour, but it was so nice that really time flew, sorry. Just a kind of support for my students. Unfortunately, we do not have the time to go through the glossary that we have prepared for you. It is a glossary about the vocabulary that you have to command if you want to hold a conversation in the real estate industry. It is, as you can see now, I'm scrolling just to show you all the key words that you should know and you should keep in mind. Elena was so nice that before the live started, shared with me the most relevant ones according to her opinion. So now that the live ends, I will also share with you, I will put in evidence with you the words that according to Elena were the most interesting ones, so that you should keep in mind. Now I don't want to hold Elena too much, because I told her it was something like about 45 minutes. It is almost 1 hour as usual. So thank you so much, Elena, for your time, for having spent this hour with us. What time is it in Dubai now? 10:30, right?
10:30.
10:30, so it's almost late. Tomorrow, what time does your working day start?
9 a.m. We start we start our office hours at 9 a.m.
And usually what time do you finish?
There is no usually, Monica, as long as it takes. As long as there is a client and there is a deal coming up, even if I have to work until 12 and 1, and sometimes I do, it's actually not sometimes, it's very often, because best deals are done over dinner, over a drink with the client.
Yeah, I can imagine. And something that she didn't mention, but something that I can tell about Elena is that she also cuddles her clients. Because I remember that the first time I came to your office, when your office was still in our community, to sign the contract, you gave us a beautiful candle, Christmas candle, very big. I still have at home, and I was impressed because usually in Italy not every real estate agent gives you a gift when you enter the office and you sign a contract or you do any kind of business with him or her. So I was really impressed, and I remember that I said everyone should, cuddle the customers with these very little gestures, but then that can make the difference. So something that I still remember from our first encounter. So Elena, thank you so much for your time. It was very nice to talk to you. So let me just have a look at the comments here, just to share. Thanks, Elena. Good night. Very interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Elena. So I see from the comments of my students that they really appreciate it. And also I look at the numbers of the attendance. So I'm sure that they liked very much this topic. Elena also shared something very useful for those who are interested in starting a career abroad in the real estate industry. So then I will share with you your website. I don't know, the contact information that you think would be useful to share with my students for those who want to apply for a new job opportunity.
I will share with you the contact number of an HR, not the contact number, the email of an HR. And you can also share my email address. I am particularly hiring in my team. So another important point, the person must have driving license.
So just to recap the requirements, you said proficiency of the English language, driving license.
Driving license, and you have to have with you at least 3,000 to 4,000 euros to be able to sustain for the first 2 months.
3,000 to 4,000 euros to sustain for the first 2 months. And what about the experience? Are you looking for experienced people, or do you consider also newbies?
We don't mind teaching people. We don't mind. So we do provide training in-house. Also, there is an institute which is called RIRA, in Dubai, that people have to go through. So actually this is another thing that it's another expense that people will have to budget. It costs.
So if you want to work as a real estate agent, you have to go through the RIRA training.
They have to do the RIRA training and get their license. The company, of course, provides the working visa. It's a 2 years working visa. The workspace, the marketing, but things like RIRA course, accommodation, a car, the essentials for living and for being real estate agent, the agent has to take care by himself of this.
Sure. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Elena, thank you so much. I do recommend you guys to have a look at the glossary because it is super useful to you. Thank you so much for having shared such interesting information about the real estate world. Elena, thank you so much, and we will see you when I'm back in Dubai.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for your attention. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.